Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. I am Network Gremlin and this is another guide of Space Station 14, more specifically the server of Delta V. So I've already made a complete beginner's guide and so that will give you kind of generally how to play. If you guys have any further questions regarding that, please put them in the comments and I'll try and get to that. I will get to that, and if I've missed anything obviously also. But so here I just want to go through navigating the station, which I understand may be a little bit difficult. You're gonna get lost for your first time on the station. It's a little bit confusing what everything is. So just generally gonna go around how you can navigate, and then after that I'm gonna go into broad department guides and perhaps gameplay mechanics. I don't know which one I'll decide to go first, but in any case, so you're going to spawn in at arrivals and that'll be different on every map, and they are, by map I mean station, so be careful to not say map in game, like in game, because it's it's not roleplay. You're going to say they're different stations. If you want to refer back, you're going to say I used to work at a different station, right? So when you're walking around, you're going to find many different things. The potted plants you can hide stuff in, yes you can, as far as I remember, but that's not really a huge major detail. But what you generally going to want to kind of keep track on is where your evac is, different vending machines, so space cola. So for your thirst, because you're going to get thirsty. It's the most frustrating thing in this game, but whatever. So just at least keep your eye out for that, and then you're going to have like different nooks and crannies with random kind of stuff here and there that are usually reserved for cargo or something similar. I see the power's gone off. No, that's not nice. Okay. You're going to also see different lockers, right? And please don't worry about the chat. I just turned off all chat just so that you don't get distracted, because I know I do. You're going to see these lockers. This is a fire safety locker. This is going to have guaranteed, unless someone's taken it, a fire helmet, a fire suit, an oxygen tank, and a gas mask. If you need an oxygen tank in an emergency, or you need to go through fire, you know where to go. Look for the red box. You also get these emergency closets. These will have your emergency suit and your oxygen tank, and then also an emergency toolbox. So this is just things to at least keep note of if you are in an emergency and you're looking around like, what can I do? Look for these things, okay? Now, you're going to see these signs around. Now, there are two ways to kind of navigate this. There are three ways. The first way is you ask people, where am I going? So ask, hey, do you know where the station is? Do you know where not the station, do you know where the bar is? Do you know where Epi is? And so you also note that each different department has got an abbreviation. So as I mentioned in my beginner's guide, HOP is head of personnel. That's where you get to change your ID card to whatever. And also I want to also just mention that you can check the station name in your PDA. And I just want to segue then into online, and I'll leave the link below. On the Nino Tracen website, there are a bunch of map layouts that you can look at just for the broad overview. There's I think they're PNG pictures, so that'll also help for your navigation, especially when you're new. I didn't know this. I just kind of I just kind of had to learn where things are, right? And so I also didn't mention this in my beginner's guide, but I just want to mention it quickly. There are different alert levels. I'll go over the different ones in a different video. And yeah, so this is generally most of the time the signs that you're going to see. I can't think of anyone that isn't being shown in this. Your bar is obviously a bar. You can get drinks from there, alcoholic drinks, soda. So that's kind of when you want to go if all the vending machines are out of drink. There are other ways to get drink, but that's just the easiest, and you can also interact with people there. People like to role play in the bar. Your food, that's where your chef is. They'll cook for you whatever they're going to make, who knows. The dorms, that's for people who have SSD, and I'll make a terminology video, but SSD is essentially it's called space sleep disorder, I think, and it's essentially when someone logs off. So when someone logs off, then they go AFK essentially, and if they're not coming back, then it'll say something. You can inspect them. I'll go over in another video, but you take them to the dorms. That's where you take people who have SSD. The bridge is where the captain resides and where only the heads of departments can go in to it, unless you've been given special permissions. But it's practically for the leadership. Supply, as I've distinguished, supply is actually cargo. So just keep that in mind. So if you need to go to cargo, look for a supply sign. Med is medical. Pretty self-explanatory, where you go to get healed. Janitor, so janitor is not a big department. It's quite small. It's designed for 1 or 2 people. And then also hydroponics or hydrolab, I can't remember exactly. I think it's hydroponics. That's for the growing of stuff that can be given to medical or given to the cooks, or those are 2 separate, maybe smaller departments, but are equally useful. And as I've said, hop, we've already gone over. Sec, security. If someone says in chat, hey, I need sec, they need security. Engineers. Now, engineers also consists of salvage and Atmos. So if you need Atmos, and Atmos is atmospherics, and salvage is salvage. So if you need either atmospherics, salvage, or an engineering, go to Eng. They're all under the same kind of umbrella. And then epistemics is, as I've said, that's more your science, but also a little bit of mysticism in it. It's kind of weird. I don't think I'm missing out on anything that I can think of at the moment. Okay, so I just checked in case I was forgetting any department. I don't think I am. If I am, then I'll add that in the comments. But another thing to keep an important notice of, like I mentioned previously, is evac. So evacuation. When it comes to evac, you want to keep note of where evac is, because most of the time the evacuation ship will dock there. And so here's your chefs, for example. They've got the monkeys in there, and there's a lot of blood on the floor. They need to get janitors to pick that up. And then you've got your bar. Then there is your botany, okay, on your right there. So you want to keep, all the doors are color coded, right? So you've got your red doors for security. You've got your blue doors for everything that is, blue doors are command. Yellow doors are engineering. Purple doors are epistemic. And yeah, so here's a yellow door, for example. Now this is different though, because there are maintenance corridors within the station that you can go into, and you'll find multiple different things here. Depending on your role, they'll have different uses for you, but generally you'll just find a few boxes and cupboards and racks and stuff that'll largely be irrelevant for you. It's easy to get lost if you're new, so I wouldn't recommend going and wandering in there. And so you'll find that there are different kind of subcategories of things that fall under different departments. So for example, your courthouse is going to be next to security or in security. Your chapel is going to be in close to epistemics, right? And so if you just think about generally what you need, or like what would be required of you, you can I keep on slipping. You can kind of figure out where you need to go. And often you'll see that, by the way, I just want to mention that when it comes to like medics, you'll often find that they've got medical outposts. So be careful you don't go to a medical outpost and expect to get someone there, because often medics are understaffed and they can't afford to sponsor that. And so you'll see as you explore the stations, you'll see here, your salvage is that way, but that's also your yellow doors. I'll make an engineering guide so you can get more into that. And you'll see that there's just these kind of, I think this is a fight ring. Yeah, it is. So you'll see that there's some nice roleplay things, like some events that you don't have to be in a department to have fun, you know. So this is kind of, you know, if you explore, I'm sure you'll find something that's fun. You just need to kind of grab a bunch of people and then just set up a boxing match. I know that some people have boxing matches to decide who gets what plushie, you know. Like, but I think that just generally gives you an overview. I'll put in a link to the map database, and then you can see for yourself where everything sits in the map. Okay, and yeah, just have fun exploring. Don't be too hard on yourself if you can't find everything straight away. Just be chill. You know, you're new at the game. Don't expect to get everything done really quickly, and just take your time with it, and, you know, just enjoy it. You know, have fun. And yeah, I will see you guys hopefully in the lobby.